Hi guys, it's your boy Gadgetman404 here, and this flight is with my Mavic Mini. It's in the evening. It's around about 5:30. There is reason of why I'm saying that, so you will understand later on in the video while I'm specifically saying the time, etc., etc. Now, what I'm trying to do is, I want to beat my long distance flight of 13,500 feet. But up to now, I've not been able to. I've done 11,000s and 12,000s, but I've never got further than 13,500. Now, this is probably the third time in the history of owning this drone, which is nearly a year. It's a year in December I've had this Mavic Mini, that I've even flown in sports mode. I never go full throttle straight away, I sort of build into it. But you'll see at points of this video that I'm doing 27, 28 and whatever miles an hour. And then on the way back, there's spoiler alert, I'm facing a headwind, and at times it's doing like between 11 and 15 miles an hour. So what I didn't take into account, that 23 minutes into the flight, the wind would change direction. I had to fly quite high because there's lots of pylons around here. Now, the reason why I've come to this specific place is because it's just open fields, so there's nothing, there might be the odd building, farm building, that is about it. There's no roads here. I'm trying to stay away from the water, but all I'm trying to do is, it's not so much where I'm going specifically, but just the distance. I'm not like, oh, I want to go and see this building, I want to go and see that building. I'm just trying to do the actual distance is what I'm trying to do. As you can see, I've changed the Evo now, and it's a lot lighter, even though when I took off it was around about 5:30, so early evening, and 20 odd minutes into the flight it gets a hell of a lot darker, which I didn't take that into account. I didn't think it was going to get that dark that quick. So it started off as an evening flight and ended up as an early night flight, really. It was quite dark. So I'm in sports mode. I'm doing like 26, 26 and a half, 28, 29, coming up to 3,500 feet. Perfect signal. I'm using the Yagis again. I'm getting real good range with my Yagis. I always get good range with my Yagis. Mine are the 2.4 version. I would have checked the stronger channel before I took off. This is on the old app before the update, so I didn't have any issues with the getting the Wi-Fi interference and all that business. I can see I'm coming up to a farmland building, so I am going to turn to the right shortly and go around the building, because they say, you shouldn't go over property and buildings that you can't protect or that you've got no control over. So that's one of those things that you don't do. And yeah, it's alright. I'm sort of doing a voiceover while I'm watching something really cool on Netflix at the same time, guys. So yeah, there's the towers. That's Willington, the old Willington power station. I'm not going to go over this part of the river because the main road is on the other side, and I know I'm in an altitude zone, not height restriction. But what I don't understand is, it says it's letting you go up to 150 meters, but a general hobbyist will only go to 400 feet, which is 120 meters, but 150 meters is more than 400 feet. So why would they let you go higher in a restriction zone than in a normal zone. That doesn't make sense to me, but that's, you know, I don't do anything like that. That's just what the DJI people do. That's what they put in their app. So that's what they put in their app. I will keep pushing forward. I've had weak signal a few times, as you can see. Headlights are coming towards me now, sort of middle of the screen to the right, so I'm turning to the left, going over the river just a little bit. I'm not too fussed about going over this part of the river because it's narrow, and if anything happened, I should have control and I should be able to land it probably on this side of the field in the middle or on the other side. But as you can see, there's pylons dotted all along this riverside. Again, weak signal, just antennas, so I do so in a few seconds and then I get signal back. I've hit just coming up to nearly 10,000 feet, guys. I've got a strobe light on the back of my drone, and honestly, guys, at 10, even at 12,500 feet nearly, I could see it flashing. It's pretty awesome. Again, altitude zone warning, yes, I know. I'm just sort of turning round. I'm going to turn here briefly. Still got signal again. There's a housing estate in front of me, so obviously you don't fly over houses and buildings and objects of which you cannot control. That is in the hobbyist's handbook, if you like, if you're a newbie. One thing, say for instance you're flying back somewhere and you lose picture and you don't know where it's going, what it's doing. As long as the distance is coming down, then you're pretty sure it's coming back to you. If it was getting bigger, that means it's not, it's going away from you, so that's something to keep an eye on. And also open up the map every now and again, and you can zoom in and you can see there's a red line of what it's going to do. A blue line is what you make, and a red line is when it's coming back. So as long as you sort of check that it's coming on in sort of in the right area, then you should be good to go. That's just a tip for newbies to make sure that you're in the right direction. As you can see, there's a tractor to the bottom middle as I'm just going over. I don't know if they were, you know, digging it or if they were actually just, you know, doing some work, but it was late in the evening. As you can see, I've already altered my Evo exposure and it's changed. I think this is where I lose connection, so I get 12,306 or 9 feet. This is where you lose picture, and then I never get it back after that point. I'm adjusting the antennas and all that kind of thing, but it's not doing anything. So I'm just trying to get signal back, but it's not working at the moment. But it's a fantastic little drone. The Mini 2 is really good. It's got OcuSync, so the range on that out of the box is better than what you would get with the Mini or the Mavic Mini. But you know what? It's still a fantastic drone. I'm happy with mine, and it's one of those drones I think I'll always carry with me because it's so small. Now I'm doing, so this is what I said about the red line, that is the way back. I'm coming into like a altitude restriction zone, but I'm not going to be in there long. As you can see, I am coming back home because the distance is coming down. I'm still 174 to 175 feet high. The reason why I do that, guys, is I know there's pylons dotted around all around this area, and if I cleared them going out at 174 feet, I'll have them on the way back. I won't hit them on the way back or get close. Don't know why I never got signal at all. So for nearly 10 odd minutes, I never got signal back, which is just really strange. But that is what it is. It's one of those things. But I can see that it's definitely coming back to me. The distance is going down. The height I'm keeping at the same height just because I don't want to hit anything on the way back. I'm going to come through the restriction zone briefly. As you can see, the speed is coming down to like 15, sometimes goes down to 11 miles an hour. It's saying strong winds there, guys, top left hand corner. So I've got a headwind coming back. Didn't go in out, didn't have any wind at all going out, but for some reason there is a headwind coming back. So it's making it hard going. I've got full stick forward, and as you can see, I'm getting between 14 and maybe 16 miles an hour, but again, it does go lower than that. And my battery is getting low as well, and I've still got 6,500 feet to go, and I've got about five minutes of recording time. So I'm sort of giving it some welly, but it's really struggling. I mean, 17 miles an hour into a headwind is probably, that's the fastest I got at one point. Sometimes, you know what I mean, it won't go any quicker. It won't go any quicker. You just have to, you got to do what you got to do. So I'm giving it full stick forward. I'm in sports mode. I'm opening up the map. So I'm just looking to make sure that it is coming back. So that's a tip for noobs. What you can do is you can basically just keep looking at the map. You can zoom in so you can see more of the map, or move the map to your left, to your right, whatever, and you can see that it's coming back. Unfortunately, my battery is running low. I'm at nearly 3 minutes, coming up to 3 minutes, and I've still got nearly 7,000 feet to come back. Still saying strong winds, but I know there's pylons dotted all around this area, so I can't come any lower until I actually get to the field that I need to go in. But there you go, that's just what happens sometimes. You have to do the best thing for yourself. I'm giving it full stick forward. I'm trying my best to get it back. I am sort of panicking a little bit at this point because I'm getting down to two minutes of actual battery life left, and I've still got 3,500 feet to go, guys. So still a long way to go, but it is what it is. I've got to do it. I've got to do it. It's one of these things. I've never flown my battery this close to empty, or I've never flown it past being empty, as it's saying now. It's basically saying, yeah, you're getting low. You're gonna have to land soon. But as you can see, I've got a long way to go. Still got a long way to go. I'm just looking at the distance now. Still got 2,400 feet to go. I'm still 174 feet high, and I've got like 2 minutes left on the battery. So I've still got a long way to go, and I'm flying blind at this point, guys. I've got no video feed for whatever reason. I don't know why. I always get video feedback when I'm in this area, but at this point, I've got no video feed, and I am sort of pushing it forward, just trying to go as fast as I can, guys, to get back home. And as you can see, I'm at 9 miles an hour. I think what happens when you go below 10% battery with any of the Mavic minis or the minis, then it reduces the power you can give to the motors. So even though you're giving it full stick, it's actually reduced my speed now. Look, I'm only getting 7. 6.5 miles an hour, and I've got full stick forward. I can't go above 10 miles an hour when the battery comes below 10%. Now it's saying I've got 1.5 minutes left, and it's going to land. But because when you get to 10%, you can give it enough power to stay high, so you can keep it up in the air for a little bit, but it will only last for about a minute. So if you just keep up, as you can see, I'm dropping down in height, but then eventually I'll go back up. So I'm just coming down under 100 feet, and now I'm giving it throttle to go back up. So it's working. It's working, guys. But I've got reduced power just because the battery has got reduced power as well. And I'm nearly getting there, guys. I've got 1,100 feet to go, and I'm now losing altitude. At this point, when you get below 5% battery, you cannot do any stick input. It won't do anything. Now, I was still going forward as it come down. That could have damaged the gimbal. Luckily for me, it didn't. So what you should do, guys, if you're going forward and you notice that you are dropping in height and you've roughly got a good bearing of where you are, just stop moving forward and just let it come down and land on its own. I'm doing this. I'm trying to turn it so I can see the light, because it's got a strobe light on the back. And until it's actually landed, because when it lands, it sort of turns round a little bit. That's when I can see that I can see where it is in the field. I mean, you get your map and everything, but it's better to actually physically see the drone or see the lights. And now it's landed. I've gone, look, no height, and I'm about 600 feet away, so it's not a million miles away. I'm already going to start the beeper in a minute. I'm going to put the beeper on, etc. So it's one of those, you know, it's a blooming fantastic drone, absolute fantastic drone. And I'm so glad that I found it. It's one of these that I wouldn't have wanted to have lost this, as well as I lost my Xeno recently, and that's been over 4 weeks now, guys, and I haven't managed to find that yet. But I put the beeper on. I can see it at this point. Because when it landed, it did turn slightly, so the back end is facing me. As you can see, I'm getting there. If you like this content, guys, please consider subscribing. Give this video a like, give it a dislike if you didn't like it. And, you know, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do Mavic Mini stuff weekly. I'm doing a new feature, weekly shout-outs. So if you guys get on my radar, I'll be giving your channel a shout-out. So that's it really, guys. I've been Gadget Man 404. You guys have been awesome, as always. I will catch you in the next one. And like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Stay safe, fly safe, keep each other safe. Gadget Man 404 out. Yeah.